Welcome back, everyone, to our Griffith Park League Cup BBQ finale here at Griffith Park, California. I am Mrs. Coronel once again. That is also Dennis Geisler. We have round 2 coming up our way in our League Cup finale. We have Brenden Moses and Brenden Davis.
Yeah, very similar names, but very different teams, both from each other and from what everyone else is playing. We've got some real fun ones for you here. I'm excited. Oh, I want to see the teams first so that everyone can properly appreciate.
Oh boy, that is an interesting team from Brendan's side. We had the Bayleaf, the Lugia, the Eternatus, the Lowland Muck, Smeargle, and Grimmsnarl, while Brenden on Rillaboom, Zacian, Giratina Origin, Landorus Incarnate, Pelipper, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. So we might be here for a while.
So the more normal of these two teams is the Giratina. It's still an interesting Pokemon, has the Levitate, good stats all around.
It also walls Ursaluna pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't just wall it well, it takes straight up no damage against Ursaluna. Like, it has to Terra to take any damage against Ursaluna at all.
And then we see Mux Smeargle.
And then we got Mux Smeargle Bayleaf. I was talking to Brenden a little bit before the set about all of this, about this going on. He had told me that apparently his last game, a 2-0, was a 16-minute first game and a second game that went to timer. So this could be an interesting one.
I mean, we are here at a barbecue, which we would have put to get some food of our own, but everyone else at home, I suggest you do the same.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, probably I'll see if I can flag someone down to get me food in the middle of this set. I'm not joking, but I'm really excited for this. And it's the Binding Band loop, which you can see there, which will boost the number of turns that trapping moves will go for, which I believe Lugia has.
It has a few. Yeah, I mean, Whirlpool's a hidden machine in Johto region. Of course, it can use it.
Oh yeah, it was.
No, it's the Whirl Islands.
Yeah, I know it's the Whirl Islands. All right.
All right. Anyway, we got Landorus Zacian here from Brenden, and of course, it's obviously Mux Smeargle from Brenden. So there's one thing in mind that Brenden wants, and that's a Smeargle to faint. But how do you do that with Landorus and Zacian in play? You have fake out pressure, but that's gonna be the key here, fake out pressure.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that I'm intrigued by here is I think Brenden made the right call in going for.
We have a technical difficulty from the get-go. Thankfully, at the beginning of the battle, so no harm was done.
Yeah, we'll load this back in, but we'll talk a little bit about the leads. I like the way that Branden's trying to play around this, going for a Pokemon with a Steel move and a Pokemon with a Ground move. I'd be stunned if Zacian did not have the Venus Blade and if Landorus did not have Earth Power. And with those two, you have two things that could hit Muck, which is the big thing right now, because even if the Smeargle is able to, basically you're just trying to deal damage to the Muck before it's able to get a bunch of minimizes off and, like, really ruin your day.
And this is where not having Sandstream Storm plus Rain Dance actually ends up costing Brenden, because the Sandstream Storm never misses if the rain is up. Well, a lot of Landers nowadays are deviating away from Sandstream Storm, and I think that might just come from like team specifics and how they want to be ran.
Yeah, and there's a handful of like guaranteed hit moves that are really good into something like this, like the Blizzard. We saw that in the last game.
I mean, thankfully Pelipper does have access to a good rain move and Hurricane.
Pelipper actually with the Hurricane, that should be a guaranteed hit through that.
Yeah, it's guaranteed in rain.
A couple of things that this team should be able to do.
But it's just like, can you at least mitigate the damage? And
yeah,
side note, I think eventually we're going to see these wonderful player faces eventually. Like, we don't see it right now, but trust me, Brenden and Brenden are here.
Yeah, we promised they're there.
What?
Oh, the mic closer to my face? Okay.
Could you imagine if they're actually not here and actually just like at home? Could you imagine?
Just playing at home, yeah. I mean, you could see that Brenden on the stream side is offline. So it would be really difficult to, get the
we can't justify that now, but like, you can imagine, you know. It's like there's a whole lot of mysteries to, like, who these people look like if people are tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, even though like Branden's been on like regional streams, right?
Okay, so we're gonna get a start over for game number 1 here. Once again, the teams Bayleaf, Lugia, Eternatus, Alolan Muck, Smeargle and Grimmsnarl for Brenden. For Brenden, it's Rillaboom, Zacian, Giratina Origin, Landorus Incarnate, Pelipper, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. And yeah, again, we talked about Pelipper having a good way to deal with Minimize, but it's just like I'm not sure if the Minimize is the one. I mean, it's a main worry, but the other worry is just like the trapping moves that Brenden seems to have. You see that Binding Man, you have to think, oh, we might be here for a while if he's going to go going for those trapping moves again.
Yeah,
Lugia Whirlpool is like the big one because we know Whirlpool is actually lore from the Johto region.
Yeah, exactly. And there are also just other slower forms of damage, I guess, trying to play it out for Brenden. And so I don't know. It'll come down a lot to Moody Boosts, as it always does. So it'll just be.
But to who do Moody Boosts go?
Yeah.
You ask.
Not only who do the Moody Boosts go to, but also what Moody Boosts are they? Because if it ends up being that like special defense early on, the defense early on, get some of that bulk up as you're minimizing, there's definitely some stuff that Brenden can get done. But
all right, here we go. Game number 1-2 is time. It's Landorus and Zacian. Okay, we got the same leads. Okay, Bucksy your goal again from Brenden and Brenden with the Zacian and Landorus, and we can actually get underway.
It's actually very different because the Zacian and the Landorus are swapped around.
Oh, yeah. There's no Dittos in screen, thankfully.
Yeah, that's true. In any case, yeah, you expect the fake out here. It's going to be into Landorus. I do think that's the smarter play.
And Substitute goes up from Zacian.
That's clever. Because it will be really difficult, actually, to break through that Zacian with the Substitute. But it does mean that,
there's a minimize from Muck. So we'll get 2 stages of increased invasion.
Yeah,
Moody activates for an attack boost, which would have been helpful a turn before. And the defense boost probably doesn't matter at this stage. Because, the Zacian was already boosted.
Yeah, and at this point, Smeargle's main goal is to probably follow me, just to draw away 2 more hits, 1 from each of these 2 Pokemon, and drop, getting Muck another minimize boost, and then we embark on our great adventure.
Smeargle does go for that follow me here, and Zacian's going to be faster here, so we'll proc that Behemoth Blade into that Focus Sash, goes to the +1 attack to the Sharper Sword, and then -1 defense that Smeargle took. Absolutely goes to Sash.
I was going to say, I think even without those boosts, it brings it down to Sash, but certainly with the boosts.
It also just depends on how Smeargles are trained. Some of them are meant to be really fast, some of them, meant to be really bulky. Sometimes you just build it that way, as we do see a taunts go into the Smeargle. Make sure it can't go for any support moves anymore. It has to either click fake out and fail, or switch out.
Yeah.
Special attack rises, defense falls again.
The biggest thing for Brenden is that means that the Moody doesn't get passed over just yet.
If
Obviously, yeah, well, whether it switches or not, Brenden can now just keep focusing the Muck and not have to worry about the Moody Power of Alchemy stuff. The big thing at this point is just, can Brenden hit, and I think it minimized this range is about a 2 in 3 chance to hit, otherwise 100% accurate move.
Okay, well, Landorus doesn't want to take any more chances right now. It's going to be swapped out for that Urshifu Rapid Strike. Smeargle also going to switch out, so preserves itself for now. We do see Grimmsnarl come in for Brenden.
No, I think I actually might have an idea of where Brandon's going.
All right, there's a protect as well from Muck, just to make sure getting at least an opportunity to get taunted. Behemoth Blade goes into the protect.
Yeah, I have an idea of where Brandon's actually going with this one. And
Brenden or Brandon?
Brenden. But Brenden as well, I know where I think he wants to go with it, but that's a bit more obvious. Brenden, we're going to see what happens this next turn, and I think I already know.
Oh, wait a minute, that's a mention on screen for Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, that's Prankster Metronome, which is very funny. I think you probably just...
Who knows what happens?
Yeah.
We can see probably the greatest move we could ever see, or we can probably see Grimmsnarl explode.
Yeah. And I like
this.
And
it's not going to stay in here for much longer, as Smeargle switches back in, hoping we get KO'd. And no KO come out. It's going to get a coaching through the Substitute, and boosts Zacian's attack and defense stat by 1 additional stage. It needs to find the Muck, though, if that's what it's going for, and it didn't find it.
Oh, man, that is brutal. That is tough.
And there's a third minimize. Now a max
minimize.
evasion on Muck.
At its max evasion, it should be around a 54-ish% chance to hit. This is back of my mind. Do I remember the exact minimize calcs? But I believe it's around that range.
And note for the Moody boost, Smeargle got a weaker fake out now with a drop attack.
Yeah, it sure does. Which doesn't matter too much in this case. I mean, the big thing here is just that Zacian is also boosting up behind the substitute, and so it's a question, can Muck even break Zacian? Does it come down to, like, struggle? I think that Muck should have more PP than Zacian, which is a really weird thing to be talking about this early on. Excuse me, this early on in the game.
Yeah, because like Behemoth Blade always has a maximum of 8 power points, like in every use case, because it transforms from Iron Head. Okay, Ursula gonna switch out. No more coaching boosts are needed from this point onward. Landers comes back in. I think I can see a percent coming up from Zacian, then you just taunt once again. Yeah, there you go.
Branden's playing so carefully around this right now, and I think that's smart. He'll be able to go for the taunt into the Smeargle slot next turn.
You see Follow Me come out just in case, you know, the Zacian went aggressive and would have proc the power of Alchemy here. And Toxic, here we go. It begins now. Toxic badly poisons the Landorus, and once every turn is going to take more passive poison damage.
Yeah.
As long as it stays on.
Yeah, as long as it stays in, and
another special attack boost for Smeargle's at +4 now, and another attack drop.
I mean, it doesn't really matter for the Smeargle right now.
We're keeping track, don't worry. We might be here for a while.
Keeping track, yeah. You know, yeah, we're going to be here for a while. We might as well keep track.
Oh, that's actually smart from Brenden, because, like, you get your own Smeargle. I still think that activates power of Alchemy, which passes down the booty.
Oh, that's crazy, actually. We'll see.
Follow Me gets redirected just in case.
It's probably going to be a taunt from the Landorus, and it might even, Zacian's probably going to substitute.
Yeah.
Just because it can't protect again, or it doesn't have
There's a taunt, and that's actually really smart from Brenden, because if you go for the knockoff into your own partner, you knock it out, and therefore you activate the power of Alchemy, which passes the booty down the Muck.
This is the craziest series of events anyone has ever seen. This is a battle of the minds. I feel like I'm genuinely, yeah. And there's the Moody taking over the power. Excuse me, and the power of Alchemy. This is, I'm genuinely amazed at how high level this gameplay is. That's
Speed Bell. That doesn't really. You're underspeeding both these Pokemon anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not super meaningful. The special attack rise is literally useless for Muck. And the drop
all we see
really
Lugia in the back from Brenden, but Brimstone going to come back in first.
And at this point, Muck does not have any redirection support, so that's something.
Yeah, it's actually just something, but
Uh-oh.
I don't like the fact that we're still waiting on a screen. Technical difficulties are rising again. I don't like this.
Uh-oh, come on.
Does the game know that we don't want to see this?
No, the game... No!
Well, from this point now, we got to figure out which of these players is connected, because we got to get a game winner from this one, I think, per the rules.
Yeah, we'll allow our wonderful judge and producer, Miguel, to take a look at that. I mean, it's difficult to say where that game would have gone. I really like the way that Brenden was playing around that.
Okay, there was a disconnect. From here, it looks like it's Brenden, but we do not know the answer.
Yeah, we'll let Judge take care of that and see where it goes from there. But I liked how Brenden was playing around that, getting the Zacian set up with the substitute, get the coaching on it. If it hit one Behemoth Blade into Alolan Muck, it probably picks up the KO. Assuming no defense boost for the Alolan Muck.
I mean, it never had a defense boost at the time.
Yeah, it didn't get one.
Because that first booty was never passed down.
As annoying as Minimize is and how much it turns a lot of things into a coin flip, it's only like a 50-50 chance of hitting, approximately. I'm trying to remember the exact number for +6 evasion. I think it's something over 9, because everything is like either something divided by 9 or 9 divided by something, I think. Or no, it starts at 3. I'm trying to remember the exact way the math works out, but I think it comes out to being around a 50-50 chance of hitting with all the minimized stacks up. But that just ends up being a question of how well does that hold up against a pretty powerful Zacian. I mean, it would have been at +2 attack.
And +1 defense.
And +1 defense, meaning it wouldn't take anything against Muck. And so if it's able to clear out everything besides the Muck...
Okay, looks like we got a power cycle right now. So we're going to hang tight and continue our discussions about these teams, you know.
Yeah.
Brenden was playing it smart, and then Brenden saw through that and was like, okay, if you're not going to knock out my Smeargle for me, I'm going to knock it out myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was a really nice adaptation from Brenden, but I don't know how well that is going to work like long-term in the battle. Like, it's just a question of how much the... I mean, this is the crazy thing. It's a question of how much the Restricteds are able to do. Because the Lugia and the Eternatus, it depends on how much they are actually able to get done in this matchup, as opposed to just the Muck. Because the Muck, we know the Muck basically can't touch the Zacian at this point, or at that point in the battle, and I think that Brenden, and even Brenden, will probably want to play it out fairly similarly, and so it's just a question of what can Brenden do to break through the Zacian substitute and try to start weakening it a little bit.
Yeah, because that Zacian has already set the sweep through the rest of Brendan's team. Should have not gotten set up, and it's the fake out pressure. I was about to say there's probably a route you probably lay Zacian or Urshifu once we get the situation sorted, and maybe you can go high pressure with the cookie moves, but then if you're nope, never mind. There's fake out from Smeargle. I can't really say much about that. Yeah,
and I was thinking about, okay, what about like Surging Strikes just into the Smeargle to try to get it out of the way a little sooner, but then I don't really know.
That passes on Moody the power of alchemy.
Yeah, it's really difficult, and I don't think the Moody passing over is that bad for Brenden, honestly. Moody is obviously a great ability, and it will get a lot of work done on the Muck, but I don't think that it's so game-changing that if you can get the Smeargle out of the way really quickly, and especially if it's like, okay, I got a Surging Strikes down, and then I get a free shot at the Muck, and before it gets a couple of minimizes up.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll be difficult. It'll be difficult. I really don't know where this goes in the long term of the battle, assuming that the game is able to connect at this point.
Yeah,
which is not a guarantee, but
yeah, I think that was the game telling us all, hey, we're just gonna spare you all the time and the misery. We're just gonna disconnect the game before it gets worse.
I, the video game, know where this is going. I'm just going to let this one go quickly, so you don't have to worry about watching the rest of the turns. I know who's going to end up winning this, so
I mean,
we'll end up going
from who
that.
Won.
Yeah. Miguel, who ended up getting the game win? Oh, it was a tie. Okay, so is it...
So we're getting a game 2.
Yeah, what is the rule for that?
Looks like we're getting game 2. Or we're either getting game 2 or we're repeating game 1 for a third time.
Yeah. So we go to game 2 now, and if they split 2 and 3, they go to sudden death, or okay.
Oh.
So that's how it works. So we do get.
We're going to game 2 then.
So you still need 2 game wins to win this set at this point. So
except we'll have a game 4 sudden death just in case it goes.
Yeah, in case they split the 2. So you still get to see 2 games of Alolan, Muck, and Smeargle trying to win this, trying to win these games.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
Alright, so now we're getting reconnected and hopefully everything recalibrated again. You know, technical difficulties. That's 2 for 2 on technical difficulties. I really hope this doesn't continue any further because the last thing we want to do in an outdoor tournament is burn.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
I'm sorry about that. I tried my inner Charlie Merrimander and tried to go for like a double token, and I don't know if that worked.
I liked it. I mean, always to all the all the people here in attendance. Be sure to hydrate. Be sure to keep that sunscreen.
Yeah, don't worry. It's getting we're getting here to summer. You know, we're getting there.
Yeah, it's a hot one. It was cool here when both of us got here earlier, and it was a few hours ago. But now we're into the heat of the day, and I don't know. I'm having a good time though. This is real fun.
Don't mind just slap girls will fly nearby. Don't worry.
See if there's anyone close enough for me to
a lot of people
tell them to get me a burger. I want to do the ESPN eat in the middle of the broadcast.
Oh my god. Okay. I was about to say, there's like somebody I'm thinking about. It's like, don't mind that one. The wind's getting a little stronger too.
Yeah, we've got to keep our team sheets here.
There's no way Tornadus is coming in here, isn't he?
No, not a whole Tornadus.
The concept of windstorms, like, unless it's like someone else I'm thinking about.
It's not gonna be that bad. It's not gonna be a whole Tornadus here.
you say that we had a whole Thunderous here like a month ago.
That is true. We did have a whole Thunderous here. Hey, Lucy. Lucy, can you bring me a burger? We're still on stream. Can you put a burger on here and bring it over? Thank you.
Talk about friendship here.
we got the we got the real help.
Oh, he crashes right into the canopy. You heard it first.
What's up? To Miguel, wherever he is over there. Just wait here for a minute until he comes back over if he doesn't.
Yeah,
you know,
this is the behind the scenes you never get to look at.
This is the behind the scenes. Hey, we're outside. We've got like 50. How many people are in this round? It's like 50 something.
52, 53.
No!
Oh, he won't get his burger.
There's no more burger. That's so messed up. The burgers weren't done before the round, and then a couple of yeah, and then a couple turns of Alolan Muck happened, and then
Wait a minute, we're not in New York, we're in the West Coast.
Oh man. Well, no burger for me then.
Alright. Yeah. Eventually we're gonna get to game number 2 here.
Video game.
Looks like we're here.
Let's
now.
go.
Game number 2. I hope it's burger time, according to Luke Parker.
I sure hope it's burger time, but
Alright, once again, the teams. In case y'all forgot, we get to do our sidetracking. Smeargle, Bayleaf, Lugia, Eternatus, Brimstone, and Alolan Muck. From Brenden, it's Rillaboom, Zacian, Giratina Origin, Landers Incarnate, Pelipper, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. This is game 2.
The order of Brendan's Pokemon changed.
Oh yeah, it did.
That was weird.
Why is Bailey suddenly in the second position?
Yeah, it's Smeargle got moved to the first position. Weird.
Maybe Smeargle's the leader of the train.
Smeargle is actually the leader of the train. It is true, but
how does it conduct with the paintbrush it's holding?
I mean, it still has one free arm, I guess. You do the drive the whip.
You don't think he went full Shadow Mario, did he? And you just got into Shadow Mario mouse and started painting Mario?
Yeah. Like, what would normal Smeargle be? Like, Smeargle is like the Shadow version. What's the normal version of Smeargle then?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Shadow Smeargle is a thing, both in Pokemon Go
I guess,
and
yeah,
in
in Pokemon Go.
Pokemon games, which, by the way, Switch 2 is coming out in about a week. You'll be able to potentially find Shadow Pokemon once again when you play Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a thing you can do. That'll be fun.
At least we're your Shadow Pokemon enthusiasts.
Yeah. You won't be able to bring your Switch 2 to NAIC, though. Bring your normal Switch to NAIC. Switch 2's not allowed yet.
I don't think it's allowed for the rest of the season.
Yeah. But
which includes the World Championships.
Yeah. But there are more people at NAIC. In any case.
Game 2.
Let's go.
We're going to Game 2.
Game 2.
So, Brenden.
Game 2, but tied 0-0.
Alright. It's Landorus and Rillaboom for Brenden. It's going to be Eternatus Grimmsnarl for Brenden.
Yeah, this is a bit of a different look for both of these teams. The Rillaboom starting out is interesting because you actually do give the a bit of passive healing to some of these Pokemon.
I mean, Eternatus is going to appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, it certainly will, and that's why it's a little bit of an interesting choice for me.
But it's still pressured by Earth Power with Sheer Force, and that's why it has to protect.
Yeah, it sure is, but I think what's weird here is that
Fake out into the Grimmsnarl.
Okay, yeah, the Rillaboom fake out going before the Grimmsnarl fake out makes sense. That explains it more so. Ooh, and nice play by Brenden there.
And down goes the Grimmsnarl after that Sludge Bomb here. Interesting set of moves, and that does confirm that Grimmsnarl probably is not speed trained at all. And here comes the Smeargle now from Brenden.
Yeah, I mean, I think Grimmsnarl would probably be slower than both those Pokemon anyway, but that's a really, really nice play there for Brenden. And
now Brenden is in an interesting spot because you can't really... You could Spore the Landorus potentially, but... Yeah, I think you're better off going for Fake Out anyway.
I think you have to Fake Out. Yeah, you get the critical hit, and the big thing is you get the Cosmic Power on the Eternatus. That's one Cosmic Power up.
Each one, special defense boost.
Yeah, it gets you real bulky. It gets you real bulky.
And U-turn goes into Smeargle, breaks his sash.
That's another
goes under half after another critical hit.
Yeah, the crit obviously useful, but that's another really smart play from Brenden. Brenden is playing as if he has played a lot against Smeargle Muck. It's genuinely like really like clinical the way that he's playing against a lot of these Pokemon. And
comes in with an Intrepid Sword boost incoming.
Yeah. And I mean, we know from the previous game that it's probably just Protect, Substitute, Stabs.
Attack rises. Would have loved to have that fake out. Defense falls. I think that might be too late.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Smeargle ones aren't really going to matter that much unless they get the boosts.
I mean, I also the point of the Smeargle, even though it took a critical hit U-turn, it looked like it took it pretty comfortably.
It did. It did take it reasonably well.
Which probably gives away that it's probably like a physically defensive Smeargle.
Probably. I mean, at the end of the day, your Smeargle is probably just going to be fast and something else. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. Probably not that, because it's probably going to be fast and, I don't know, fast and jolly.
Making movie jokes in 2025 is something else.
Fast and jolly.
No, it's not jolly. It's fast and adamant.
But,
Terra comes out from who? This looks like This looks like Brandon's Terra, but I could be wrong on this one. Translation goes up. Exhaustion. Exhaustion. And, in fact, Terra Fairy.
That's an interesting choice. I wonder if it is just to hit with harder play roughs. Oh, wait. I know the reason for it.
Follow me is going to probably take away the reason if it was going after the Turnitus there.
Yeah.
Defensively also even hits it.
Okay, yeah.
I think, yeah, I don't know what that one's for, but I guess it makes sense to...
Yeah, it's the Fire Spin.
And it goes into the substitute. No longer super effective, so it should be able to survive. It will. And the Landorus is going to knock out the Smeargle with a Sludge Bomb. Zacian sitting pretty.
Again, absolutely clinical from Brenden. Getting the substitute up with the Terra Fairy. That means that you take the Fire Spin, and that also means the Fire Spin doesn't keep activating.
No, it didn't even trap it. And now here comes Brendan's final Pokemon. It's the Lugia.
And now, with the two restricteds out here, Brandon's got to feel pretty good about just clicking moves. Like, at this point, these Pokemon want to have so much more setup available to them, and they simply have not yet. There's one Cosmic Power up, and...
I mean, if the one Cosmic Power is up, do you really think Brendan's the chosen one with that Lugia?
I mean, I don't know, but...
Clearly somebody wants the chosen one when they awaken Lugia.
That's for sure. But, I mean, the Earth Power should just kind of shred through the Eternatus pretty well.
Even at +1 special defense?
Even at +1 special defense, I mean, this is Life Orb boosted, Sheer Force boosted, Earth Power, same type attack bonus boosted.
Play Rough connects. Yeah, there you go. I don't think a lot of the substitute got away. Where did it connect? It connects to Lugia, breaks his multi-scale, goes under half through it.
We saw it's not multi-scale. We saw it was pressure, which for the stall. Yeah, for the extra stall from the Lugia.
All right, another Cosmic Power defense boost goes up. Psychop's going to copy those defense boosts, and now it's at +2/+2.
Yeah, which that'll make it hit a couple more.
And Taunt's going to prevent any further Psychops and prevent the Lugia from going for recovery, which we did see in the screen.
That Lugia straight up outsped the Landorus. That's crazy.
must be a bulky Landorus then.
Yeah, it must be a bulky Landorus or a really fast Lugia. I guess if you're expecting your Lugia to get Psych Up bonuses from Cosmic Power and from Moody and Minimize and all that, then maybe, yeah, you go pretty fast with the Lugia, because it's not the slowest Pokemon in the world.
One of the funny things about Brenden taunting Lugia, it's taunting the fact that he doesn't think Brendan's the chosen one. Behemoth Blade lands on this +2. Lugia takes it under 25% health. Goes back to his substitute where it can comfortably be good, and his Fire Spin missed.
Ugh, on the Landorus too. Would have been a real nice play there.
Connects onto the Zacian.
Does this break the substitute?
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either.
I'd actually, no, it doesn't either. And Sludge Bomb misses the KO, but that's Behemoth Blade food.
It is. And at this point, yeah, and there's the grassy terrain disappearing. And again, Brandon's playing this so well. I'm genuinely amazed, because this is a really, really annoying team to play against. And Brenden is absolutely controlling this battle.
Behemoth Blade does in fact go into the Lugia. The chosen one has gone down!
Yeah, it's eventually getting rid of that Lugia, and a really good job just getting that first play rough off and doing so much damage before it was able to psych up.
Another Cosmic Power goes up, so now it turns into +3 defense and special defense. Landorus still is yet to move. It could taunt to stop. Yeah, I'll say stop further. Internet is going for the status moves, and now it's left using Fire Spin. And I'm pretty certain Brendan's going to want to play this out.
Yeah, it's going to be... I know, I mean, moral-wise, I know that Brenden is going to keep playing this. I know there's no chance that Brenden is going to get that forfeit button until Eternatus drops. There's the Terra. That's got to be the Eternatus, yeah. Which, Terra Fairy, which, I mean, it'll help this turn in the sense that it will no longer be weak to Earth Power, but it's still weak to Behemoth Blade.
Which Dotson did go for.
Yeah, and it's still weak.
Mathematical +2 thanks to this defense boost. Just under half damage that it took. Fire Spin connects onto the Assassin. This one should break the substitute, absolutely.
Yeah, now that it's healed its substitute all the way back up. There's the substitute finally breaking. And okay, no read on the Sludge Bomb there, but I think a Sludge Bomb should...
Another Behemoth Blade finishes the job. There's
come on!
Brandon's gonna take game number 2 and go up on the series 1-0.
Yep. And I mean, again, Brenden played that really, really well. We'll see how game 3 goes, but I think Brenden got a bit more value out of the Smeargle Muck stuff.
I mean,
although at the same time, how do you break this substitution if you're Brenden?
Yeah, because like you don't have a lot of damage output. It's like
Metronome sheer cold through it. Like I was like, what do you do here?
All right, yeah. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is game 3. Game 1 was ruled a tie, so Brenden can still win this set if he wins game 3.
Yeah, we'll go to sudden death, which will be very strange with these teams.
And now we get to see blank camera still. Don't worry. Again, they're here.
Yeah, I see them. They're here.
So we go to game 3, and I want to point out, I'm actually a little surprised Brenden abandoned the mug game 2, but
I was surprised as well, but at the same time, it does seem like Brenden kind of had it under control. And I wonder if Brenden... Like, I like that lead in the last game of the Rillaboom and the Landorus, because you kind of prevent any fake-out shenanigans from Smeargle. Like, you give yourself a really solid opportunity to just hit one big Earth Power against Muck before it gets any minimized boosts. And I don't think there's anything stopping you from doing it. And so that's going to be the problem for Brenden if Brenden runs that same lead.
And it's going to be Landorus and Pelipper this time from Brenden. And there you go, it's Muck Smeargle from Brenden.
Okay. I mean, at the same time, I think this is honestly fine for Brenden. I would have preferred the Rillaboom, but at the same time, right now, you can just go for that... just big moves into the Alolan Muck and see how much damage you can do into it. Because you know this is going to be the fake-out turn.
And into the Pelipper, too, so it's not going to get... Oh, the Trainer Power! That might hail the Muck, and it will!
Yep, and that's the thing. It's like, when you're leading this from Brenden, maybe Brenden was hoping that Brenden would get a little bit defensive, say, oh, I want to taunt the Smeargle, oh, I want to protect out the fake-out turn. No, you just go for it.
I mean, it worked!
Yeah, it certainly worked, and now... I mean, you're missing the whole point of the team at this point. Like, I don't know what Brenden can do here.
Yeah, Brenden might have a really tough time, breaking through that Landorus. Landorus really has become one of the best Pokemon in Generation 9 as a whole. Like, you're seeing why.
Getting a lot of work done, and I mean, it's definitely fallen off from a point it was at in the past, but it's still super powerful.
Grimmsnarl comes in from Brenden. I think now Brenden has like one hope left, and that's getting a lucky roll on Metronome.
Yeah, I think Metronome is genuinely one of the only
ways. But he's thinking about running.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really difficult. I mean, the big problem is just that you don't get evasion boosts anymore.
There you go. Follow me from Smeargle. We're going to redirect the taunt away from the Grimmsnarl should Landorus want to go for that move. Here's Prankster Metronome. What does it roll? It's been a long time since I got to say what does it roll. It's Power Trip, and it's no boosts.
No boost Power Trip, so yeah, that'll do a solid, like, 10% of Pelipper's HP.
Alright, there's a Sludge Bomb onto the -1 special defense Smeargle into the Focus Sash. Hurricane, then double it up and knock it out.
Yeah, and that now means that the Psych Up for Lugia isn't really going to do anything unless Grimmsnarl does something crazy. Like summons an Acupressure or something with Metronome. Like, I don't know what it can really do to save this one.
Yeah, and there's the last Pokemon. It's Lugia once again from Brenden. And once again, it comes down to Metronome rolls. And well, although Power Trip was a stab move, again, Grimmsnarl didn't have any boosts.
Yeah, and I don't know how... it's a pretty physically whatever Pokemon. But, like, Power Trip is like 20 base power before any boosts. Like it's not gonna do anything there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had to do much of anything either. And
all right, let's see it.
Another metronome comes out from this prankster boosted Grimmsnarl. It's rolling Simple Beam. It's gonna transform Drizzle to Simple.
That's not really going to accomplish anything right now, but I like it.
The Whirlpool connects into Rain.
Rain boosted? Oh man, that did not do much.
Lander's now trapped in the Vortex, goes for the Sludge Bomb into the Grimmsnarl.
And that is...
Not a knockout this time. Hurricane doubles it up, and there goes the metronome shenanigans.
Goodbye, our brave soldier Grimmsnarl. You gave us 2 pretty funny metronomes.
I forget what status moves that boosts Spellifer stats are that could work with Simple.
I literally don't know if it has any of note. I'm trying to think of any, and like it doesn't. I don't think it gets nasty
Stockpile,
plot.
maybe.
It might get stockpile actually.
Like you can stockpile for a +2 boost, but
kind of cool.
Here's the thing: you never run stockpile on Pelipper.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's not good. I'm trying to think of any move at all that works on that level.
All right, we do see a taunt go into the Lugia's Protect and the Weather Ball too.
Yeah, I'm thinking this one's just about over. Brenden just needs to lay a couple of hits into that Lugia, which it's pressure as well. It's not even multi-scale, so it'll take more damage.
And here's another Whirlpool, and a miss on the Pelipper.
Oh man, that is insult to injury. 2 misses on those moves.
And you go for that because you know you're getting taunted.
Yeah.
The wind's blowing here too.
Yeah, it's blowing our monitor a little bit.
There's a Weather Ball onto the Lugia. Around 40% taken, and now the weather's gone.
It's a nice chunk there, honestly, but... And the thing is, because of that, it means that Pelipper can switch out and switch back in for the extra rain. Oh, the Terra?
Yeah, there is a Terra left, and from both players, actually, neither of them are terrestrialized. Landers terrestrializes to Poison from Brenden.
Which means it takes a little bit less damage from Whirlpool, I guess.
It's still taking chip damage even through that, and Whirlpool does connect to the Pelipper.
Yeah, so Pelipper doesn't switch out, so it'll be at the whims of Hurricane accuracy. But
yeah, here's the Sludge Ball onto the Lugia. Oh, that's a lot of damage.
That's good damage.
Weather Ball connects, but it's only 50 power this time.
Yeah, it's the normal Weather Ball, so it shouldn't pick up the KO.
15 HP exactly.
Wow, that did 17 damage.
There's a Whirlpool hitting both Pokemon now.
Yeah.
That Binding Band's really putting in work.
The Binding Band is putting in work. I mean, we're seeing how this is supposed to work. But the thing is, yeah, Brenden can't protect here is the problem.
He's
so
still
I
taunted
think
for one more turn.
Yeah, still taunted. Probably has to go for a Whirlpool into the Landorus and hope it KOs straight up.
I don't think it will because there's no range.
I'm getting the feeling it's not going to.
I had the same feeling too, Dennis. I really do. Whirlpool. Oh, he's listening to Brendan's players.
Crit?
Yeah, there you go. Slowtalk connects. Brenden Davis gonna win round number 2 in the game 3 with a 2-0 victory.
The 2-0 victory honestly could have been 3-0 without the disconnect. Definitely really well played, but hey, I'm glad that we got Brendan's Smeargle Muck team on stream. It was a really fun team and a bunch of really fun sets. We didn't get to see the Bayleaf. I'm disappointed that the Bayleaf didn't get to show up in any of the battles, but
it's gonna show up in Legends CA. Don't worry.
It will show up, and we'll see. We'll see what more gets to happen with the Bayleaf.
All right, now that we've gone for the behind the scenes, now that we've gone for all the technical difficulties, we'll be right back for round number 3. He's gonna get his burger, hopefully. We'll be right back once all that's taken care of.